That kid plays like he's back in his neighborhood. When legendary striker Thierry Henry said those words, he absolutely hit the nail on the head. He perfectly captured the magic of a teenager who just went out and conquered the globe. We're talking about a player who steps onto the most high-pressure pitches in the world, yet plays with this fearless, joyous, street-level genius, like a kid just kicking a ball around with his friends. Welcome to today's Explainer, where we are mapping out the journey of a true generational talent.
Okay, let's dive into this. Today we're unpacking the ascent of football's 19-year-old king Lamine Yamal. We'll trace his explosive rise from the concrete courts of his childhood all the way to lifting the 2026 FIFA World Cup. And we'll break down that staggering €1 billion contract that officially cements his place as the future of FC Barcelona. Part 1. The 2026 World Cup champion. Spain 1, Argentina 0. We really have to start at the absolute climax of this story, in that incredibly tense 1-0 final victory over Argentina, a match everyone was touting as Lionel Messi's final World Cup appearance. 19-year-old Lamine Yamal completely cemented his legendary status. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the sheer volume of records he shattered along the way. I mean, he became the youngest Spanish scorer ever with that goal against Saudi Arabia. He literally led the entire tournament with 30 completed dribbles, just effortlessly breaking through defensive lines. On top of that, he was the second youngest player in 60 years to win a penalty in a knockout match, and alongside his teammate Pau Cubarsí, became one of only 7 teenagers in the history of the sport to start a World Cup semifinal. Absolutely wild.
And look, this kind of impact, it isn't an accident. Former Barcelona coach and legend in his own right, Xavi Hernandez put it perfectly. He's a blessing. He's got everything it takes to be the best footballer in the world. Xavi pointed out that Yamal possesses this unprecedented level of football intelligence. He almost always makes the flawless decision on the pitch, which is just incredibly rare for someone his age. Moving to part 2, deep roots in Rocafonda, Matara, near Barcelona. To really understand the global superstar we see today, we have to travel back to his working-class beginnings, far away from the bright lights of the World Cup. You know that hand gesture he always makes after scoring? The 304 or 305? That isn't just some random celebration. It carries deep visual symbolism. It actually represents the postal code of his neighborhood, Rocafonda. It's this constant, grounding reminder to himself and to the whole world that the superstar dazzling defenders is still just the kid who learned his trade on the concrete courts of his hometown. And that pride, it extends deeply into his family roots too. As a child of a third culture, Yamal has Moroccan heritage from his father's side. His grandmother actually traveled from Morocco to Mataro and worked 3 different shifts just to bring her family over. His mother, meanwhile, traveled to Spain from Guinea. To honor this incredible family journey, Yamal literally wears his pride on his boots, sporting the flags of both Morocco and Guinea every time he plays. Family is just everything to him, particularly his mother, Sheila Abana. You know, money was tight growing up, and his parents separated when he was young. Seeing his mother struggle financially to provide for him profoundly shaped his maturity and his grounded nature. So when he made it, his very first priority was giving back. As he put it, "I bought her a house wherever she chose. She's my queen. She deserves everything." Yet despite the massive global fame and the newly acquired wealth, there are these brilliant little reminders that he remains, at heart, a regular teenager. He actually talks a lot about the PlayStation 4 his mother bought him, a gift that meant the absolute world to him at the time. Even today, he jokes that he could have the biggest mansion on Earth, but he's always going to keep that PS4 in his living room. And he still happily plays the PS5 with his buddy Brian from the academy. Think about that for a second.
While most 19-year-olds are stressing over college exams, Yamal is balancing global superstardom with a casual game of FIFA. Let's move to and see how this builds in part 3, shaped by La Masia, Barcelona's academy.
Because here's the thing, raw neighborhood talent still requires careful strategic development. For Yamal, that happened at Barcelona's famed youth academy, La Masia, which he joined when he was just 12 years old. His astronomical rise wasn't just luck, it was the product of a highly refined system. Their Masia 360-degree approach is an absolute masterclass in athlete development. They surround these young talents with an incredible interdisciplinary team. We're talking 12 doctors, 16 physiotherapists, and 26 physical trainers. They take a fully holistic focus on everything from diet and hydration to deep psychological support. They don't just build football players over there. They build resilient, complete athletes fully prepared for the global stage.
Which brings us to part 4, Yamal versus Messi. The stats at 19 years old. Let's be honest, you simply cannot be a left-footed teenage prodigy emerging from La Masia without drawing comparisons to Lionel Messi. It's inevitable. But when we look at raw first-team experience at exactly 19 years of age, the gap between them is actually astonishing. Yamal already boasts 101 appearances for Barcelona and 32 caps for Spain. At the exact same age, Messi had 24 appearances for Barcelona and 11 for Argentina. Yamal has been trusted with crucial first-team minutes at a significantly earlier stage in his development.
And this brilliantly illustrates how that experience translates directly into teenage production. Check this out. Yamal has 30 goals and 29 assists for his club, plus 7 goals and 11 assists internationally. Messi, who, to be fair, had to battle some early injuries and break into a squad featuring established legends like Ronaldinho, had 8 goals and 3 assists for his club, with 2 goals internationally. In terms of sheer teenage volume, Yamal is completely off the charts.
However, when we shift gears and look at major trophies, we see where the real challenge lies. Yes, Yamal has already secured the 2026 World Cup, Euro 2024, and a La Liga title. Unbelievable stuff. Messi at 19 had a Champions League and 2 La Ligas. But the context we absolutely must remember is what Messi did after turning 19, going on to win 8 Ballon d'Ors and becoming arguably the greatest to ever play the game. So Yamal has definitely won the teenage sprint, but the marathon of a legendary career, that's really just beginning.
Part 5. A billion-dollar future. Yamal's new contract.
So, the crucial point is, how exactly does a club protect a generational asset who has already achieved so much before his 20th birthday? Well, 1 billion euros. That is the actual release clause Barcelona has slapped on Yamal's new contract. It is a staggering financial fortress completely designed to ward off any top European club that's even thinking about trying to pry him away from Catalonia. It represents his immense, almost incalculable value to the club right now. This contract, which extends all the way through 2031, signals a whole new era under club president Joan Laporta. Yamal is expected to inherit the iconic number 10 shirt, the exact same shirt worn by Messi, Ronaldinho, and Maradona. And to push him toward that legacy, the contract even includes special performance bonuses tied directly to winning the Ballon d'Or. The club isn't just hoping he becomes the best in the world, they are literally banking on it. Which leaves us with this final thrilling question to ponder. Are we looking at the greatest career trajectory in football history? Think about it. From the concrete courts of Roccafonda throwing up his neighborhood postal code, to conquering the 2026 World Cup and signing a €1 billion contract, all by age 19. If this is literally just the opening act, imagine what this kid is going to do next. Thanks for joining me on this explainer. I hope this breakdown helped you truly grasp the phenomenon that is Lamine Yamal. Keep your eyes on the pitch, everybody, because history is being written in real time.